When it comes to the homeless problem here in the metropolitan area, the numbers can seem staggering. And that's especially true when you consider one of the new faces of this issue: students. In New York City alone, the number of public school students living in homeless shelters has gone up in each of the last 5 years, reaching almost 33,000 in 2016. And on Long Island, Suffolk and Nassau counties had nearly 3,000 people in homeless families, the most among small cities, counties, and regions in the country. Tonight, we're bringing you a special report on this crisis as part of our ongoing reporting initiative, Chasing the Dream: Poverty and Opportunity in America. So how did the problem get this bad? And what's being done to keep students off the street and in their homes? Joining me now with answers is Alec Roberts, Executive Director of Community Housing Innovations, which has been at the front line of these homeless problems here in the region for over 2 decades. Alec, tell me a little bit about why this problem is becoming so pervasive in Suffolk and Nassau counties.
The problem stems from a simple supply and demand issue. Basically, there are not enough affordable houses or apartments for the people to live in. And that stems from the fact that the process of getting zoned for multifamily, more affordable housing just doesn't exist in the New York metropolitan area. Communities in New York State have something called home rule, which means that basically they decide what kinds of housing and the housing choice for the market. The free market doesn't operate on Long Island, doesn't operate outside of the city, or even in the city to some extent, but the city at least acknowledges the need for affordable housing. On Long Island and Westchester, which were frankly built during the exclusionary periods of discrimination, basically have the same attitudes, and therefore the housing is not being built. And when you have an imbalance between supply and demand, you have prices that go up, and they continue to go up tremendously.
One of the things that seems to come up is, well, if you can't afford to live somewhere, then just move someplace else. Is that possible for these families?
It's very difficult because wages have not kept up with inflation anywhere, but it is difficult for the families to move. And there has been a lot of study that, in general, they could, and that has happened, in the past. But it is difficult for them. And frankly, Long Island, they want to be growing. They want the economy to grow. It's stagnant pretty much right now. The answer, I don't think, is moving whole populations out of Long Island or Westchester, et cetera, but to allow the free market to operate and to build housing that the community needs. That's how it works.
So what are the unique difficulties of being a homeless student on Long Island or in one of the suburbs, let's say, as opposed to being a homeless student in New York City?
The challenges are similar. On Long Island, of course, you have the added difficulty of transportation. You don't have a good subway network, for example, so it's very expensive to own a car, which adds additional burden. But a lot of the same social and psychological pathologies are common to both. The rate of depression, the rate of acting out, all kinds of problems, poor performance in school. All of these issues are greatly exacerbated.
Is there a public misconception that a lot of people don't realize about these families that they should take into consideration?
I think that people feel that this crisis just happened. And we know that the people who are homeless, families I'm talking about, are not different from other poor people, really. And basically, if they're given an affordable apartment, they can function, and they do fine. All of the major national studies show that really, whether they have enhanced services or not enhanced services, the thing that works is a subsidy to allow them to be comfortably and stably housed, which is the critical issue.
Well, you mentioned. I was going to say, you mentioned the major national studies, and that is also part of this issue because nationally, the number of homeless families has actually gone down, except this issue, we continue to struggle with it in the metropolitan area.
There isn't enough focus on exclusionary zoning, which is the primary driver of this. And the second thing is the State Environmental Quality Review Act, which is used as a weapon among many communities just to keep housing out. It's so difficult to build housing in the metropolitan area because of the onerous regulations that the state has. There have been attempts at reform, but communities just don't want to give up their exclusionary zoning, their ability to decide what they want. And they don't want affordable housing in general.
All right. Well, listen, Alec, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to enlighten us on this subject and definitely to give us some ideas about what needs to start happening, especially at the community level.
Thank you, Jenna.
Thank you.